Gene Paul back again. Another video. This one's a little unusual. This one's about influences. What did Dad like, and where did he grab ideas from and admire and that kind of thing? And in the early days, I was privy to it without knowing it. And I can remember times he'd go on his little road trips. And one particular time, Dad and Mary were going to Harlem. They wanted to go to the Apollo Theater and see an artist they liked. I was like, gee, would you mind if I tag along? That was my big line. So off we went. And we went to the Apollo, and who's playing? Ray Charles. Well, I got to tell you, I've never seen anything like that, and that was some adventure. Then another time, I picked up drums, so I was playing drums at the time, and Dad said, well, you like drums, let's go see a drummer tonight. I said, great, I'm in. Went into Birdland in New York and saw Buddy Rich. Well, needless to say, they were very good friends. I ended up sitting behind Buddy all night on the bandstand. Wow. Then another night, Dad wanted to go in to see a classical guitar player. And I figured, well, it's got to do with Gibson. What is this about? No, he's just really good. I says, okay. I says, yeah, come on. So off we went. It was Andre Segovia. Now, talk about three people right there that have nothing in common except for the fact that we're all great. Clean, great, nobody hit out. It was absolutely phenomenal. So that was my adventure with some of them. Whole lot more, but that's some of them. Then at home, to home in on this influence thing, Dad would always sit at the dinner table in the kitchen, and when he was done eating, he'd start practicing again. And he had a phonograph next to him, and the phonograph was constantly used. And I said, Dad, it's the same guy, same riff, same everything. What is this? He says, well, it's one of my favorites. I said, obviously. I said, what? Who is it? He says, Django Reinhardt. Well, I didn't know it then, but as I grew up, I found out how much that meant to him. And on the road one time that I got myself whittled into the show, so I was on the road playing drums with Dad and Mary, privilege, my college, so to speak. And on the road one night in Vegas, we were playing, and I swore I heard Django's Run in the middle of the show. And I'm like, boy, I got to remember to ask Dad about that. We got off the set, and Dad, did I hear Django's Run? And he smiled at me, looked at me, he said, yeah. And he looked at me again, he said, but it's my run now. He practiced and practiced to get it the way Django did it, close to it anyway. And then he turned it around and made it his, and made it fit his music. As I grew older, I figured out this is how it's done. So it was really interesting to come together and put this video together. Now, the last occasion that fits this video is we were in Frisco, and Mary's getting all excited and getting dressed, and Dad's getting dressed, and they're going downstairs. And we're not opening tonight. We're opening tomorrow night. I said, what's going on? Ah, singer's down there, and Mary really likes her, and she's really good. I says, well, I'm in. Can I go? Come on. Okay, off we went. That night in the main room, Ella Fitzgerald. Well, I got to tell you, I couldn't drink, I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything but watch and admire what she did.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing, all you got to do is swing. Makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Give that rhythm everything you got. Oh, it don't mean a thing, all you gotta do is swing. Give me that melody, give me that music, anything to make it sweet. I gotta have music, I gotta have melody, just as long as it's complete. Swing.
Give me a sense of where you thought, wow.
Yeah, the most talented
Most
people.
talented. Just raw talent.
Raw talent.
Yeah.
Orson Welles was one of the fellows that I worked with a lot. Frank Capra.
Yeah.
Jack Kapp.
Who was Jack Kapp?
Jack Kapp was the originator of Decca Records.
Yeah.
He handled all of Bing Crosby, myself, the Andrews Sisters, many others. I admired him because of his way of handling a recording studio and Bing Crosby. If Bing sang a song, and when Bing walked in with the orchestra and he sang a song, one time, that's all you got.
Bing did not go in for
Bing
a lot of
didn't
tries.
go for 12 takes. Sinatra may make 20 takes of a song
try
to
some
get it
50.
right. Right?
Yeah.
Bing went one time around the block.
Yeah.
So if you work with Bing Crosby,
Better do it right.
and if I miss a note, I got to live with it.
Yeah. And why was that? Because he just didn't feel like he would get any better, or because he wanted to get out on the golf course?
Bing said there's feeling. There's that first time where emotionally you do it brand new. You do it the best. Yeah. And if you can get through it, probably everything after that will be more perfect, better, but not with the same feeling.
Not the same emotion.
Not done as well.
Not the same humanity.
That soul.
Yeah.
Kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a long, long time. Haven't felt like this, my dear, since I can't remember when. It's been a long, long time. You'll never know how many dreams I dreamed about you, or just how empty they all seemed without you. So kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a long, long time. Kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a
He says,
long...
Les, would you answer me a question? I said, sure, Bing. He says, why do the people like me? Wow. It was one of the toughest questions anybody could ever ask me.
What'd you say?
Well, I says, Bing, I says, we're all gifted in some way or other. And I says, you were gifted in so many ways, and they all work together for you. But one of them is that voice that you have. Because when Bing talked on the telephone, he'd say, hey, Les. And I'd say, who is it?
You wouldn't know?
Bing. You'll never know Bing on the telephone.
Yeah.
Bing sounds like a young kid with a high-pitched voice. He sounds like dead as day. And then when Bing goes up to the mic, baby,
Yeah.
and the walls are coming down, you know, it's such a difference.
But he had, was it he had doubt? He didn't recognize his own talent?
he wondered,
Oh, he was
wondered
insecure?
why the people thought
Yeah.
so much of him. And as a talent, I have worked with them all
Yeah.
and never worked with a man that I respected and learned so much from as Bing Crosby.
He did it
Oh,
all, too.
hands down.
I mean, he was a success in film. He was
Everywhere.
a success as a singer. He was a success as a recording artist, as
Yeah.
a club performer.
Durante, Groucho,
Yeah.
Hope, Jack Benny, Sinatra. I watched them all fall.
You mean
In person.
make
for the
mistakes, collapse, not, you mean have a bad night, have a bad night.
They all had a bad night with Bing. Because Bing, if you walked on the stage with Bing, I don't care how great you were, Bing could top you.
Yeah.
He was so talented.
So nobody wanted to follow him.
Nobody could follow.
He was on last.
Dear gentlefolk of Newport, or maybe I should say hats and cats, I want you to lend an ear because, well, I want you to hear some really shimmering sharps and flats. For these cozy virtuosi, just about the greatest in the trade, are fixing to show you now precisely how, or approximately, jazz music is made. Well, you take some skins, jazz begins, and you take a bass. Man, now we're getting someplace. Take a box, one that rocks. Take a blue horn, New Orleans born. Ah, you take a stick with a lick. Take a bone. Oh, hold the phone. Take a spot, cool and hot. Now you have jazz, 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 jazz. Le tout ensemble. Oh, that's positively therapeutic. Now you have jazz, jazz, jazz. Messrs. Hall and Young. That's it, Hall. And Trummy Young. Now you has Messrs. Kyle and Shaw. That's Billy Kyle. Harville Shaw. Now you has Mr. Barrett Deans. Listen to, well, you know who. Say, hey, Pops, you want to grab a little of what's left here?
Yeah, Daddy, yeah.
Here we go. If you sail
I sailing
over the sea,
when you wait for me.
take my tip, they're all molto hip in Italy.
Well, I've do jazz for France.
Oh, I know you're very big
Yes,
there.
believe it or not.
I do believe, I do indeed.
The Frenchmen all prefer what they call les jazz high.
Formidable, take a plane,
Oh, Baba do side,
go to Siam.
Baba,
In Bangkok today, round the clock, well, they all like to jam. Indians on
Oh, Baba, it.
the Amazon
Oh, Baba, that.
beat one bar, and all of them
Oh,
are
well, gone, man, gone.
from the equator up to the pole. Everybody winging, everybody singing that rock, 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 rock and roll. From the east to the west, from the coast to the coast. Jazz is king, 'cause jazz is the thing that folks dig. That's jazz.
And just walk away with it with no effort.
Yeah. Sammy Davis Jr. once told me he was not scared to follow anybody, that
Yeah.
he had that kind of confidence. That
Well, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
There's a very talented man.
was not scared to follow anybody.
Yeah. Neither was Buddy Rich.
He'd follow anybody.
Yep.
Best drummer you ever heard?
Yep.
Better than Krupa?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Better than,
Better than any of them.
yeah.
Yep. Buddy Rich, just before he died, he was going in for the surgery.
Yeah.
And they asked him if he was allergic to anything. He says, yeah, country music.
That's great.
Oh, Buddy was a classic.
Yeah.
He had a great sense of humor, dry sense of humor. But he said one thing to me, Les. He says, someone said I played bad the other night. He says, I never play bad. He says, there's sometimes I play better, but I never play bad. Never play bad. And I've never
When I'm
heard
bad, I'm
Buddy
still good.
play bad.
Yeah.
He just couldn't play bad. Django Reinhardt was, he came to visit me at the Paramount Theater. And I told you that story. Didn't I tell you that?
No,
I didn't tell you that?
You told me about Pat Martino and George Benson up in Harlem.
Okay. I was with the Andrews Sisters, and the fellow down there at the stage entrance said, there's a Django Reinhardt here to see you. And I'm up on the 6th floor. Now, I said, well, why don't you just send up a case of beer and Jesus Christ? Well, I'll tell you who walks in the room but the Lord himself.
With the beer.
And here comes my favorite guitar player of all guitar players, Django Reinhardt. And he doesn't speak much English, but he sure as hell got attached to my guitar in a hurry. And Johnny Smith was playing rhythm, and Django, I don't know what he played. I think it was Rose Room he was playing. And that was enough for me. I wanted to slit my wrist and just go away somewhere and die. And anyway, after that time, we jammed together uptown in New York and in Cincinnati and Chicago, and we crossed paths while he was with Duke Ellington. And we finally ended up where he went back to Europe, and that was in '51 that I met him in Paris, and played London, and again, and I was with him up till the time he died. Came back, Mary and I came back from Europe, got off the plane, took a cab to here, the phone rang, and they says Django died, and I turned right around and went back to his funeral. Good old Django. Well, you say there's no two women alike. Well, there's no two guitar cases alike. I'll tell you that for sure. And this is just one of the great gifts that I have here. And Django is just a beautiful man. He was the greatest guitarist in my mind. I'd do anything to play as great as he did.